Well, hello everyone, and welcome, of course, to Hogarth's Global Astrology. And look who I have with me this evening. Yes, the wonderful Dianne. And as you know, we collaborate a lot. We love working together. It's always so much fun, and it's just really interesting. We often get big synchronicities, don't we,
Yes,
between
we do.
our cards, spookily, like. I
It's
think
crazy.
most of the time we read, we get one or two cards that are pretty much the same in each spread.
And we do it blind. I don't know what you're going to even ask. Like, I don't have a clue.
So, as you guys know, what I like to do is I'm getting my cards ready. Dianne hasn't seen the questions today. And the way it will work, so first of all, thanks so much for popping on the show. This is your first time here and me hosting you. And as we all know, I'm an astrologer. So there is going to be, I want to give viewers an insight into why stuff at the moment in America is so cray-cray, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh,
why there's, because as we know, like, when we do the tarot, we're reading in on the energy of that time and the timelines as they are progressing, what's going on in the collective unconscious. But what I want to give the audience today is a broad overview of an arc of time that is playing out in America right now. Okay, so let me quickly grab my board, which I've left behind me foolishly. 1 minute.
It's not far.
It's not far. It's never far. It's quite a small flat here, but you know, one day I'll get something bigger. Right, so let's go to the USA constitutional chart, which many of you have seen before. Let's turn a bit this way like this. And I just want to, it's not going to be like this full in-depth kind of thing, because really it's much more about a time period. But I just want you guys just to see. Oh, I so should have done this before. Never mind. So here we are, the constitutional chart. Let's just make sure you can see that. So can you see that clearly? Yeah, you can see that, everyone?
Yeah.
And let's go like this. All right, now. Oh, thank you so much. Look, we've got a donation in already. Thank you so much, Catherine. Thank you. All right, so guys, what we need to talk about today, before we go to questions, we need to talk about Rahu. Yes, the north node of the moon, who I also nickname Gobble-gobble. Yeah, you know, I've got nicknames for things. Gobble-gobble. So really, basically, when you're looking at a person's chart, wherever the north node of the moon is, Dianne, and for those and for everyone else listening, it is part of your manifest destiny. Yeah. I can look at someone's chart, see where the north node is, and I can see the whole direction of their life. Yeah, the whole direction of their life. But there's more. There is something which is called a Mahadasha sequence. And you're thinking, oh my God, Hoagie, you're just blowing my mind. You know, Joe Biden's in trouble. Afghanistan is all blowing up and everything's going wrong around the world. Yes, but we have to understand how things fit together. So a Mahadasha sequence is when a planet has a dominant influence over a person's life, yeah, or over a country. Yeah, countries also count. Now, in the USA chart, Rahu, this one here, Gobble-gobble, who looks like the headphones, is with Mercury, which is planet of what? Media, communications, and stuff like that. Rahu deals a lot with desire for material gains, innovation, technology. Yeah, so we know America is an incredibly what? Innovative country.
In a way. Yeah.
Well, almost exactly, almost in a way. But what's the 8th house? It's in the 8th house. The 8th house is what? The house of sex, death, and rock and roll. Yeah. But it also deals with tarot, spirituality, kundalini. Look at how many spiritual figures have emerged out of America. I mean, look what we're doing now. This is 8th house. So it's not all bad. Yeah. But what this shows is Rahu can also deal with lies and deception. Yeah. people that are ruthlessly ambitious. Yeah, sound a bit familiar? So guess what time period the United States is in right now? Yeah, it is in Rahu. Yeah. Now I'm going to give you some timings. Now get ready, folks, because this is going to put chills down your spine. Get ready for this. All right. So things go in different time sequences. Before Rahu is a time period of Mars. Yeah, I want you to understand Mars. And so if we look here are my notes, and I'm going to be quick, and then we'll move on to the questions. So this will be, you'll find very interesting. So basically from February 26th, 2015 to September 28th, 2015, America was in Mars moon, which means the main period of Mars, as in like a car, and the moon was driving. That was towards the end of the Obama presidency. Yeah. So literally, as Obama's presidency was starting to come to an end, we were going through an ending phase. Yeah. The moon rules the 8th house of sex, death, and rock and roll. So in a way, it's a bit like a drunk driver was driving the car for America. As Obama's presidency started to come to an end, we've got this slightly dodgy driver. Where does she sit? She sits in the 3rd house of media and communications. Yeah, we know American media is huge around the world, but listen to this. So here we are. So what was that? So February 26, 2015 to September 28th, 2015. Then what happened was what's happened here? Oh gosh, what have I done with my notes? Let's see here, June 10th. So Rahu, the Rahu period started on the 28th of September 2015 and went on to the June 10th, 2018. Yeah, so remember that. 28th of September, Rahu started. This was when things started to get really cray-cray. Yeah. And I want to show you here. Now, what's this? Blah, blah, blah. Where's the bit here where I made the notes? Here we are. Oh, no wonder I was looking at my notes backwards. That's why I was in the wrong place.
Story of my life.
I want to tell you something. Does everyone here know the artist, the recording artist, Lana Del Rey? Yeah. Now, she's brilliant in many ways. And what does she do? She kind of writes and sings these kind of dystopian songs, doesn't she? With this kind of seductive and dark edge. I was listening to one of her albums the other day, which is called Ultraviolence. Yeah, a bit of a dark title, but you know, it's Lana Del Rey. Stick with me here. She has written a song that perfectly encapsulates the energy of Rahu. I have linked the song below in this video. Yeah, so if you want to hear the song, follow the link. The song, so let's see, off her Ultraviolence album. So here we are, released. This song, which is just like Rahu, was released on June 13th, 2014. Yeah, 2014. And I argue artists, because they tune into higher frequencies, well, I'm an artist as well, we often tap into stuff without realizing it. Yeah, so she's written this Rahu song. And the song is called, what is it called? It's called Money, Power and Glory or something like that. Yeah, which is what Rahu is all about. But guess what? So on June 13th, 2014, she launched this song, which is very much like Rahu. And I put here, anticipating what was to come in America subconsciously. Donald Trump announced he would run as president on the 15th of June, 2015. Yeah. So she's released this album sort of like pretty much like the year before, anticipating a kind of Rahu effect. Yeah. And let's see. So Trump announced he would run as president on the 15th of June, 2015, in that Mars moon period. Remember, moon is like drunk at the wheel. Mummy's taken a few too many pills. Yeah, that's how moon was
Oh no.
at that time. Yeah. And then the Rahu period started on the 24th of September, 2015, that year. So Trump announced his presidency on the 15th of June, 2015. And by the time his campaign was up and running, Rahu started. Rahu symbolizes liars. Yeah, Rahu symbolizes liars. And
Crazy.
the nodes of the moon deal with mist and illusion. Yeah. So America is now entered a time period where there is a lot of lies, mist, and illusion happening in the country. And I thought I would just share that with you. Yeah. So isn't that interesting? And it comes to the end of, his presidency and whatnot. And there's some more crazy times coming up. But let's start with some questions. Now, Dianne doesn't know what I'm going to ask.
No.
But the first one I want to talk about and mention is, I just want to mention some special tarot that has come to my attention. And I mentioned to Dianne, and it's called Our Lady of Technology Tarot Deck.
Yeah. Love it.
And for those of you who are thinking like, what is this? Believe it or not, some people at Harvard have come up with a way to help women interact with innovation and technology, and they've created a tarot deck. Can you believe it? Maybe after this, I'll create a link in the biography. But anyway, first question. So this has come in from Aindavi Devi Dasi. What a name. Yeah.
Ooh, I like it.
And you sent me a private email, and basically what she wants to know is, what is the future of South Africa? Yeah. Now, as you know, I like to go international first, and basically what's in South Africa is that the government, I think Jacob Zuma or something like that, has been put in prison for corruption. But now he's trying to bust his way out, and he's paying off all sorts of people. There's a big constituent of ethnic Indian people in South Africa. They're now being targeted. And, we're threatened with violence and stuff like that. And they may even start on the white population of South Africa as well. Yeah.
Ooh,
so it's
quite I have a friend that lives there.
Really? Yeah, there's a lot going on. So I thought I had to ask you today. So let's see what's going on with South Africa. What is going on with South Africa? Let's see what's going on with South Africa. South Africa. What's going on?
Wow. So, I mean, I didn't really know a lot about it. I mean, this is sort of like really just a cold read for me. But it's kind of interesting how, they're trying to figure out what to do next. And, this has like an international flair to me. So, yeah, I think lots of different groups are going to be affected. But it also seems like it's all in the beginning stages, the planning stages. Nothing's finalized. They don't know which way that it's going to go. But it's clearly going to be impacting people's money and families. So this certainly isn't good. And then, oddly enough, I get, okay, the truth is coming out. Here we go, Ace of Swords. So there's a lot of things that we're going to be finding out. But I feel like, I don't know if this is going to be a refugee situation. But I mean, 2 cards back to back where the character has their back fully turned. I get the sense that some people are going to be leaving because of what's going on.
Wow.
So,
yeah, I've got some interesting cards as well. Out of my 5 cards, 4 of them are reversed. Yeah, so straight off, that's just talking about that energy. And as you know, I like to read reversals. But before I start, let's do some shout outs. So who do we have in the house? We've got Cindy Sadler. We've got Gina M. Yes, Laura Williams. We have got Holly Deshane, Sharon Sipe, Me Be Me. That's a good one, isn't it? that as a name. Creating Your
I
Life
love it.
Consciously. Oh, that's a great one as well. Pardon me. We've got Laura Williams and Sharon Sipe, which I've read already. Maria Colon, and I'll do some more readouts as we go along. Now, in a way, this is kind of like a cold read for me as well, because I just don't know much what's going on in South Africa, but I felt I had to do it. And it's good also as well to read on different topics, isn't it?
Right,
And
it is.
of course, there is still news going on around the whole world. The card I get to kind of symbolize the question here,
similar.
I've got the Page of Wands.
Mm-hmm.
And you had the Two of Wands, didn't you?
So
So
similar,
here, of course, the pages, of course, deal with youth. This deals with passion. So from what I understand, South Africa actually has a very young population. I think the majority of them, or something like that, are under 25. Thank you, Dr. Liz, for the donation.
Thank you, Liz.
Thanks so much. So there is something here going on with the youth, the passionate youth of South Africa. If we look here, I get a Pentacles card from my second card as well as an obstacle.
Yeah.
And when the card's the right way up, this man is looking at his harvest, potentially seeing what yield he will get for his investments. But here this can also refer to like a spoiled harvest in a way. There's something here where and because the obstacle does seem to be coming from the government, apparently they want the current prime minister out. And this seems to me to be the energy of the president who is now behind bars. Yeah. And this speaks to me as well a lot about corruption too, because this is plans, long-term plans. So it's almost like he's been cooking and cogitating away while in jail to try and get some result. And it seems to be working because he's like rallying these troops from prison. Here we see the Knight of Wands, yeah. But it's reversed. So we know here this can deal with brashness. This can deal with this is a very passionate knight anyway, but here he's like hot-headed, isn't he? Aggressive. He can actually even take on a bit of a mercenary energy here as well. And I think these are the sort of the militia that the president has been cultivating. Yeah, I think the president has been cultivating these kind of sort of like militia, this young but impulsive, hot energy coming forward. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of intimidation as well. Because the Knight of Wands can actually be, when he's reversed, can actually be quite aggressive. It's not quite the Knight of Swords, of course, which we know is really literally charging into battle. But here when we see, look, there's a lot of upset, there's a lot of concern in the country about how the situation has changed. And then if we look here, we get the Knight of Swords the King of Swords in reverse. So this can speak to, we know when the king is the right way up, we're dealing with an intelligent man, someone who is bright, sharp, wants to uphold the rules of the law. But here when he's reversed, he can become mean, spiteful, even vindictive. And this suggests to me this is probably the energy of the former president, basically cooking everything up from his prison cell. That's the way I would look at that. Yeah. So not great.
Scary. I'm a little scared for these people, actually.
Yeah, it's a bit scary. It's a bit scary. Okay. Oh, look at that. That card just dropped out.
Yeah, ruthless battle, abuse of power.
Yeah, abuse of power. There's a battle. Anything to add on that, or would you like to go to the next question? Shall I go to the
I'm
next
good
question?
to move on.
Okay, now this was a carryover question, which we didn't have time to ask last Saturday. So of course you'll see Diane and I tomorrow on Marie's table.
Yeah, Marie's channel.
On Marie's channel, 6 p.m. Eastern, isn't it? 6 p.m. Eastern. Yeah. All right. So this is like an Afghanistan question, but remember this was from last week before the actual collapse took place. But I thought it was interesting. So this has come from someone who's just called themselves me. Yeah.
Love it.
All right, whatever. All right, so what they've asked is, and this was a question that I printed off on the 14th of August. The question, I think, came earlier. So what nefarious deal did Duck Larange basically, the language is a bit weird. She said the country that are Afghanistan, concocted to undermine the US progress in the region. So basically what she's saying is, what kind of deal did Duck Larange, who is the orange one, yeah, did he strike? What kind of deal did he strike to undermine the US progress in the region? Let's see. And she was talking about an article she read 3 years ago that Duck Larange, along with some other countries, sabotaged Obama's progress with private armies creating havoc in the area. Now, if we remember, do you remember there was a story a few months ago that kind of fell under the radar? And do you remember where it was Russia was basically found to have contracted Afghan troops on USA soldiers? So let's just see what, the orange one's involvement was with that. All right, Duck Larange in Afghanistan. How was he involved? Because like you said in your channel, Dianne, he was literally negotiating with terrorists, yeah? And they didn't have to really do anything.
Oh, thank you, Earth Mama.
Oh, did she donate?
She did. And some of the people I recognize, so I'm like,
oh, thank you. Okay. Trump and Afghanistan. Trump and the Taliban. What's the energy? Trump and the Taliban. What do you have, Dianne?
Cards are kind of crazy. I'm just going to give it one more shuffle because I'm getting really big cards here.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. No, even if I go one more. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. I think if you know me and you know my channel, you know who this represents for me.
Yeah.
So this is 45, but look at the obstacle. It's Russia. So, okay. So yeah, I think that's kind of self-explanatory what's going on there. There was a deal between the two of them, and now Biden has to deal with that. It's creating that tower moment where there's upheaval and everything is just going crazy. And in a sense, I think it's paralyzing our efforts over there. It paralyzed getting people out because I have a feeling it has something to do with that also. And it also has to do with juggling money overseas. And so we're just sort of right back in that energy all over again. And I just seem to get this for so many times when I read on 45. And I guess I can't say I'm too surprised, disappointed, but not surprised.
Wow. All right. So when we look, so I had one card drop out the deck. So the card that dropped out, I've got so many reversals there. The card that dropped out the deck was Sense of Home. Yeah. So when we look at this, in many ways, this symbolizes not only the energy of Afghanistan, but I think this is also speaking about America as well. Yeah. The upset, the sense of well-being just basically being turned upside down. So this fell out of the deck. I then have a major arcana card turn up. Look at this.
Oh, upside down.
Yes. Now, for you, Dianne, you associate this card with America.
The U.S., yeah.
The USA. I sometimes associate this card with Russia. But as we're both here doing the reading, we can assume that they mean the same thing. Yeah.
It means both, right? Both are appropriate.
Both. Yeah, it means both. So here, America, this part here, the homeland has been turned upside down by something Russia has helped facilitate. Your cards show that deal directly, don't they, between Duck Larange and you know who? Yeah. So in a way, although the cards are different, they're saying the same thing. It's the same thing. Also, as well, what was this designed to do? To turn the world against Biden. Yeah, it was a trap. Yeah, it was a trap. It was a trap. What upset me a bit is that, unfortunately, Biden has fallen face first into the bear trap. Yeah, I'm just like, dude.
He did.
Although he said, my hands were tied, my hands are tied, we do know that this could have been done differently. I think his motivations were in the right place. And he does enjoy, apparently, for now at least, support in America. Yeah, because a lot of people wanted that pull out. But look, the world is seeing it differently. And as we've seen, Biden is, like I said, people are taking lumps out of him. When I did a reading on Cy Vance and Biden, you know, the world's getting stuck in, and he's got the Mercury in his 12th house of media. Yeah, the media is taking away right now. But then look, we get the Justice card. So
hopeful.
what this, yeah, so that's quite hopeful. What this suggests is that maybe the tide will turn, and this is talking about a fair judicial outcome. So it could be in the court of public opinion, Biden might be faring better than his enemies would like. Yeah, let's put it that way. But is it going to stop them trying? No. Look at this. We got the Knight of Swords. So this is vicious. Yeah, these are vicious critics coming forward. And if we also look here as well, look, we got the Ace of Pentacles. So in regards to, I mean, obviously the Pentacles deal with money, but we know this is also students and stuff like that. So this for me also as well talks a bit about kids going back to school. Yeah, the virus, things like that. So basically, any bad news, any bad news is basically Biden's fault. Yeah, that's how it's going to be. Any bad news, you know, even if there's, you know, pestilence in another country, oh, it was Biden. Yeah.
He's just right. Yeah,
he's just going to be getting it from all sides. In September, Venus moves out of its it's disabled at the moment. In around the 5th of September, things should get a little bit better when it moves into its own sign.
Oh, good.
And we could also see things move forward on the legal front as well.
Oh, right. Interesting.
Okay. So anything else to add on that, Diane, before we move to the next one? Or
no, I think the reason the other countries are so upset is because we created a refugee crisis during a pandemic. You know, I mean, it's tough. I don't think he could have done too much differently because 45 did make that deal. And so there was a timeline ticking. And 45 did release 5,000 terrorists and their leader. And but yeah, I think other countries are upset because now they're all having to take these people in, and they're still struggling with the pandemic, most of them.
Yeah. And what I sense happening is, as those headlines come out, everyone is just basically going to aim their firing rods at Biden's head. It might get uncomfortable, actually. He's going to have to weather it. He's going to have to weather it.
But it won't last. I mean, no. I really felt like, he's going to have a couple of tough weeks. But then, you know, the media cycle, the news cycle, it all changes. And, you know, something else will come in. And obviously the pandemic, news of the pandemic is going to be coming back in. And we're not doing well here with the schools opening up. So that's going to, I think, dominate our news cycle for the next couple of months, probably.
Yeah. And it was interesting because I got the Page of Pentacles reversed as the last card. So that suggests events of the pandemic will probably overtake the story. You know, obviously people will still be talking about that's going to be a big story too. And remember, Jupiter is going to debilitate in September. Jupiter represents joy and hope and the economy. Yeah, he's currently moving backwards by transit. He's here. Let me just quickly show you. Oh, no. Just imagine Jupiter's here, because I've actually got him on a piece of sticky tape on another thingamajig. Yeah. And he's currently around about 2 degrees, around about 3 degrees of Aquarius. But he's moving retrograde backwards. So he's going to go into Capricorn, which is his sign of debilitation. Yeah. Which means he's not going to be as optimistic. His power to do good is going to be reduced. But what does Jupiter represent? Jupiter represents the husband, yeah, in a woman's chart. But not only that, he represents optimism, the economy at large, people's hope, yeah. But he also represents children. Jupiter is the karka, the indicator of children. When are the kids going back to school? In September. Yeah.
Right.
And when he's debilitated, when he's in Capricorn, he's going to aspect Cancer. Yeah. The sign of Cancer. What does Cancer deal with? Real estate, families. Yeah. So I saw in your video, real estate is going to be affected. So take Diane's advice. If you're thinking of selling, sell up now. Yeah.
I would do it now.
Do it now. I mean, of course, we're not financial advisors, and this is, of course, for entertainment purposes only. But this is where the trend is going, folks. All right.
But you know, it's funny though, because just a little inside tidbit for all of you. Before and after these videos, especially after, we all talk. And so we do look at what each other's doing. So like they all know that like I'm not buying a house until the housing market crashes, because then I can actually afford this amazing house that I want. Yeah. And so like we kind of go into the timing and we look at all these things because we're also not being censored by this platform. So sometimes when we say things, we have a little insight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's true. It's true. So it's just a heads up for you guys. This is something really worth looking at. Again, we are not professional financial advisors, but via our sources, not just esoterically, but in the real world, from real people that actually know, they are backing us up on this, and we can see it in the astrology. So get ready. Okay, so we did a little bit of Duck L'Orange via Afghanistan. Another bonus questions. Oh, here we go. You know what? I think someone asked you this question on your channel. I got MS Luss asks, will Democrats be replaced with more progressive candidates? Will their taking bribes be found out with the Republicans? Oh, that's a bit juicy, isn't it? But
wait, who's taking the bribes? The progressives?
Well, she's suggesting.
I never got that vibe.
Yeah, she's suggesting that.
I never got that vibe from like Bernie or Andrew Yang.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about what's his face, Manchin, who's just basically a Republican painted blue. Yeah,
he's not progressive. To me, he's not a progressive.
Oil tycoon, by the way, just in case you were wondering.
Right, yeah. Not a progressive.
I mean, do you want to read on that or do you want to skip that? Because that is similar to what you were asked in your video.
I'm fine either way. It's your channel. I'm good. I can roll with it.
All right. You know what? Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll on these progressive candidates. And you never know, we might unearth something. So are these progressive candidates vulnerable to bribes? There we are. That's Democrats. Are these Democratic, what was the word again? Progressives. Vulnerable to bribe. Let's ask it that way. For entertainment purposes only. Let's see. Are these progressives? Are they prone to bribes?
I mean, I don't think so. I think it's.
That's not the vibe I'm getting either. But let's just see what the tarot has to say. Ooh.
I mean, I think a lot of them, they're still trying to figure things out. Yeah. This is sort of a newer thing, but I don't think it's going away. I think, because a lot of us really like a lot of these progressive candidates, but they still have to come up with better strategies so they actually can win elections more consistently. Yeah. I think because I don't think this is them. I think there are those that may try, these smug merchants that may try to bribe them. But, you know, they actually do have some financial stability. I think they have enough. They don't have so little that they would need to. And then here they are emerging victorious and triumphant eventually. So I don't get that sense. There's lots of cards that would show that. And
yeah, well, that's interesting. So if you look at my cards here about the question, are they vulnerable to bribery and stuff like that? Look at that.
Love it.
So these are the people that are trying, yeah, and they're gonna try and come with like. But if we look here, so what I think they're gonna try and do is these smug merchants are going to try, but I think their ideas of how to bribe these progressives aren't necessarily going to go anywhere. I think they're going to find that they're kind of rebuffed, yeah. If we look here as well, this is also as well seeing things like when this can be the victim card when it's this way up, but this can be like changing your it's like changing your vantage point, almost like with the Hanged Man, but this is finding a new way forward. So it suggests that these progressives want to find a new way forward in as they navigate them politically. So it's not going to be easy because there's a lot of these guys around. Yeah, there's a lot of small merchants around, and they're going to have to navigate carefully. For me, this is almost like avoiding temptation. It's like they recognize the dangers of the temptation here. We've got the Hanged Man. So again, not rushing forward, but there's a change of perspective. It suggests that that these progressives, they have a different perspective. And it's almost like the smug merchants are kind of like, we thought this would be easier, yeah, to have our way. And here, if we look here in terms of the outcome card, we get the Five of Pentacles, which of course is what? The opposite of money, yeah?
Right.
So here in this context, can they be bribed? It's like, well, no, because they're not in it for the money, yeah? This is how I literally see that. They are not
different mindset.
It's a different mindset. They have a different perspective. Yeah. They have a different perspective. It's not enough to just bribe them. Yeah. Because they want to find a new way through. They know the times are challenging. They want different, they have different ideas. Yeah. Different ideas. So these merchants are trying their old ideas. But what are they? They're passionate. Yeah. They're passionate.
They are passionate. Yes.
Thingy Bob Cortez, what's her face with the red lipstick, and
I know who you mean.
You know who I mean?
The one that you mean.
You know the one who leaky douchebag blowhard can't get enough of. You know, trying to terrorize.
AOC.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So these smug merchants, I think they're going to be thwarted. So I think that turned out quite positive, didn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, that question.
Thank you to Miss Brazil too. She sent us a donation.
Yes, I was trying to scoot through to try and find, but there's so much conversation and stuff going on.
Sometimes it's hard.
Yeah, we've got
over 700
right now and counting. It's going up. So thanks everyone for joining us on this Friday evening. Okay, let's go to the next question. Wow, how the time races. So let's see.
I know, right?
Actually, you know what? That Democrat one about the younger ones, that was actually quite a good question, I think. A little bit different. No one's asked that one. So
yeah, like
anyway, let's see here. Questions here. So this comes from, here we are. This is more familiar ground. This has come from Anne-Marie. Will the US Congress pass the reconciliation bill? I think someone just became a member.
Oh, Carmela.
Thank you, Carmela. Thank you. So, yeah, let's ask this one. Now, we know this question has been asked a lot, hasn't it, Dianne? And it's
I really never looked at it, though. Like, I don't.
Oh, really?
I haven't, yeah. This will be the first time.
Because I've seen the question go around a lot, like the chicken pox, yeah, on other channels, yeah, because everyone's asking. So, but let's ask. So, will the here we are. So, will the US Congress pass the reconciliation bill? All right, let's see.
Wait, what does it involve? Because I really haven't read on this one before.
If I remember correctly, the reconciliation bill, isn't it kind of like to do with like more stimulus checks and
it's that one.
Extra, because like they've passed the reconstruction thing, haven't they?
Right.
And there's this 3 trillion extra doodahs on top.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
Okay.
Thank you, Nancy, for the donation. And thank you, Jean, as well. Thanks so much.
Thank
right.
you.
Yes, I think it's that one. That
okay,
big,
that
big
one. Okay. Yeah, I haven't looked at that one again since we got like the last round of stimulus checks and but I do see us getting more, but it's not going to be quick is what I'm getting.
Yeah, let's see. Will they pass on the reconciliation bill? Will Congress on the reconciliation bill, what's the energy around that? The reconciliation bill. What's the energy? Here. Oh,
okay, so my cards are interesting. So it's not going to be easy to pass it. I think it's going to meet some opposition from the Republicans. I don't think they're going to want to pass more stimulus checks and more funding for people. But I think we're going to be a very different country, I feel, come late fall, winter. We're going to really need it. And they can oppose it all they want. But the obstacle is overthinking and overanalyzing it. You know, if people need it, they need it. You know, so when she's in the obstacle position, I know like people are too much in their heads. They're not using their hearts at all. And there's a coldness to it. But, you know, the sun, new beginnings, and followed by the world, you know, a new phase, a new cycle starting. Yeah, I mean, we'll need another kickstart to get us going again, and, you know, until the next wave hits. But yeah, I think it's going to happen, but it's going to meet opposition from the Republicans is what I'm getting.
I see. And just some comments here as well. Someone saying, hey, Hogarth and Dianne, I rather like Lana Del Rey. Right. So after this, like, click on that link, listen to that song, and that tells you all you need to know about the energy of Rahu when he's here on Earth. Yeah. Rahu is very materialistic and desires all of the trappings of the world. Can be spiritual, but it's a beautiful song. But the link I've sent has got the lyrics as well, and some of the lyrics are just like, wow. Okay, so what did I get? So in regards to this, again, what was it? Let me just see, remind myself. Will US Congress pass the reconciliation bill? I get the Knight of Cups here. So look, this is at least an offer that is put forward. Yeah, this is an offer that's put forward. But sometimes this offer can be maybe a little too good to be true. Is it a little bit optimistic, perhaps? Yeah, that's what the question that can come with this card. What's the obstacle? Surprise, surprise. Wrangling, yeah, fighting amongst everyone. So, you know, the Democrats doing battle with the Republicans, and then the Republicans doing battle with the Democrats. Some Democrats like Minchin or whatever, like, oh, it's too much money, whatnot. I think there are going to be some people that are going to be disappointed. Yeah, heartbreak. Yeah, heartbreak. And there are decisions to be made. Yeah, but this, like here, we know this is the card of decisions, but this can be dithering. Yeah, this can be dithering. If we look here, the energies, oh gosh, it's backwards. We have an offer. Yeah, that's optimistic, but maybe not realistic. There's going to be debate within Congress and all of the various different annals of power, and no one's going to agree on what should be the right thing. While this is going on, there's going to be heartbreak in the country, yeah, because the COVID thing, man, you know, there's going to be different things. There's going to be, think of what's going to be happening in the schools, yeah?
Oh, I know.
You know, I don't know what you guys put in your water, but I have never seen so many people so apoplectic about wearing a mask in my life. Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if someone's injecting you, you know, to be fair, that's your body, yeah, because that's something going into your physical body, yeah.
But a mask is a mask.
A mask is a piece. Yeah, it's nothing. And
they think it's mind control.
I know. And you just think, yeah. And first of all, that means you don't understand what mind control is, because a mask doesn't control your mind. Yeah. The media
But you know what
does.
the QAnoners say, though? See, and this is where it gets really disturbing. The QAnoners call it the mark of the beast. And so it's a way of identifying people that aren't going to be raptured.
Right, I see.
So I guess that's a problem for them. They're all waiting for the rapturing. And
well, I mean, my goodness. I mean, there's all that. Look, when they like, if they start talking about microchipping people, then that's different. Yeah, that is literally where you're being tracked. But as far as I'm aware, you're pretty safe with a mask. It's just made out of fabric. Yeah.
exactly. It's
And it
so
helps you stop
disturbing.
getting COVID and carrying it on. But anyway, I literally rabid parent. Like there was this woman, she was
Oh,
like,
yes. They're
"Mom,
insane. It's scary.
you know, like lunatics." Anyway, in regards to this stimulus package, so what this suggests is, after heartache, yeah, after umming and ahhing, there could be some kind of victory. They might pass something, but you know what? I'm going to say next year, yeah, because there's too much cray going on, particularly once we're in this period here. There's going to be heartbreak over Afghanistan, those arguments, the kids going back to school, COVID numbers. Do you know what I mean? It's just going to be too much cra. The victory will probably come next year. And I think that makes sense, no?
I think so. And we both got very slow moving cards.
Yeah.
You know, there's no speed, no movement with our cards.
No.
We got some more donations too.
Yes. Thanks so much. So let's see here. So me, thank you so much for your donation. And Doreen Garby, thanks so much as well. So I'm so glad you guys are enjoying the show. Let's see who else is in before we go to the next question. We have, find a name of not so Karen Johnson, Mary V, Electra Storm. I love that.
Love it.
Shay Zamo. And who else as well? We've got Azure Sky. That's a lovely name. We've got Debbie and Melissa AH, many more of you. So we're up to 750 now, people. So brilliant. Yeah, very good for a Friday, I must say.
Not bad for a Friday night.
Indeed. So the next question here. Oh, this is a question close to your heart. I think you've already read on it a bit, but let's see. So this is coming from Linda Searmeyer, and she's written, please read on the nursing shortage and how many healthcare providers have PTSD from COVID. Ooh.
I've talked about that, you know, because
right.
I'm a dementia practitioner and I was a director in nursing homes for many years. And then last night I had that dream. I just made the video on my channel that I was in a nursing home in the dream. It was a beautiful nursing home with gorgeous carpets and chandeliers, and all of the residents were just sitting in their rooms, and I'm walking around and there's no staff. There's no staff. And I have a loved one in a nursing home, and even though they test every worker at the start of the shift, it still got in there because he was a physical therapist. He was tested negative the day before, and he had worked in 2 different units. The next day he was positive, and now the nursing home is in crisis mode and we can't go visit again, and it's just a nightmare. But you know, I think the way that we've been treating our nurses, what is the incentive for a young person to want to be a nurse?
Oh, virtually none.
You know, I mean, even though I'm not a nurse, my degrees are in psychology. I did have to like hire and fire nurses, train nurses, all that sort of thing. I worked side by side with them for over a decade, and they get used and abused enough. And to have to put their lives on the line and to not be supported. Same thing with teachers. I think teachers, we can put in the same boat at this point. What's the incentive for a young person to want to be one of these people who are being treated so poorly? They're not being supported. They're asked every day to put their life on the line. We're also having a school bus driver shortage, which now means instead of having about 24 kids in the bus to space them out, we're putting 77 kids in a bus because nobody wants to be a bus driver because they're not mandating masks. And so now we have people out of work, but not totally by choice. They're just scared of getting sick. So I can pull some cards, but yes, I do think they're going to have PTSD, and I do foresee a shortage in a lot of these fields.
Wow. Okay, I'll pull.
They're struggling.
I'll pull 3 cards, and then let's see. It's the energy with the nurses. What's going on with the nurses?
Yeah. So, what I'm getting is, lots of conflict. They're not having an easy time. I think they're feeling like this character, like they're all by themselves fighting, just fighting in general, just to get the things that they need, to be treated with respect, to be in a safe environment. It's interesting how the obstacle is all about money. Yeah. And so I'm wondering, what that really is about. I mean, we do need to pay them appropriately. I know some of them are not getting the extra money that they were getting before, and some of them are exhausted, especially in some of these hot spots where they just have to go into work day in and day out. They're not getting breaks. And then look at the obstacle, not the obstacle, look at the outcome. My card for the virus, oops, go backwards. My card for the virus, followed by feeling betrayed. And so I do get the sense that, yeah, they are feeling betrayed throughout all of this. They've done a good job. They've worked really hard. And yet some of them are still getting sick. Some of them are exhausted, and they're mentally exhausted on top of
it. Wow. You'll be very interested to see the cards that I get. So if we look here, look, we've got 4 of Swords reversed. They are exhausted. Yeah. Or the other word we say is knackered. Yeah. They're absolutely knackered.
They are. Yeah.
They are really tired, because if we think as well, what is this? We're going into a 4th wave now in the US, something like that.
I don't even know how many it's been at this point. Yeah. It's another one.
So many waves. So we can literally see these are the nurses in retreat, because here, when is this? This can mean wounding in battle and taking a rest and being like, you know what, I'm going to take a bit of time out and just keep myself out of the public eye, much like Ivanka and Jared, yeah?
Right, yeah, where are they?
Quietly back. This is feeling exhausted, very deeply wounded, and just being like, I'm not even sure if I can carry on. It can also deal with feeling sick, literally feeling sick themselves. So when we were talking about the PSD, the thing, that's sort of like how they're feeling. Look what I get for my next card.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. It's pretty much the same thing, especially in this context. Yeah, stabbed in the back. Yeah, stabbed in the back. They don't feel like they've been getting any kind of support whatsoever. However, when the card is reversed, this can be said for the swords to be falling out, but I don't see these falling out anytime soon, not when the numbers are going up like they are. How can they? Yeah. So not any healing yet. It's really much more like this, but also as well, look at both the cards, they're swords. Yeah. However, at some point, things will move forward quickly. Yeah. This could be maybe some new kind of package or something is decided, but I think there's going to be a recognition, especially amongst the government, that something needs to happen. But given the context, yeah, with these cards, could this be a lot of people decide to quickly leave the profession? Could that, when we look at these cards, I look at this, something moving quickly, that says to me, maybe a lot of people might just be like, you know what? I've had enough. Yeah. Tricky one. We have got time for one more question. And this one is a bit international, but closer to home. Quite a straightforward one. I don't know who asked it, but it said, will Trudeau win the election in Canada? It's a good one, isn't it? I mean,
I haven't looked at that one yet.
Yes, brilliant.
That's a good one.
It's always good to have a little bit of variety, isn't it? Because obviously Afghanistan is such a big story. Everyone's asking quite rightly, but I like to mix it up.
Create some balance.
Yeah, Trudeau. Will Trudeau win the Canada election? Let's see. Will Trudeau I mean, in a way, he's sort of like a kind of a Prince Charming character, isn't he? I mean, they unflatteringly say that politics is for ugly people, but I don't think he read that memo.
No, he's a handsome man for sure.
Like, you're a politician? Yeah. I mean, because most of them look like Boris Johnson. Let's just be honest. Anyway, will Trudeau win the Canada election? I feel like he might be.
Gosh, I think there's more than one way to read what I got.
Oh, what do you have?
Well, I think he's a little bit like a star. You know, sometimes I take the cards literally. But I think he also promotes those feelings that come along with this card of faith and hope, trust. And, you know, I think the people are in a pretty good place there. However, the obstacle is people sort of, this is what the cards are saying, that the people may not like all the choices in front of them. So that could kind of go either way for him. I'm not sure how to interpret this. Going towards smoother waters and then starting a whole new phase and a whole new cycle. But that doesn't necessarily that's meaning, God, these cards are backwards, that it means that it's him that's going, because I didn't get anything like a king or a justice card or emperor that would. So what I'm getting is it is so far from being decided. But Canadians really do want things to be smooth and harmonious. They're ready to turn over a new leaf. Because even though I don't think everything is like Trudeau's fault that's happening, I think they're tired of the pandemic is what I'm picking up on. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so you may have seen my expression, but I've pulled some whoppers here. So let's just see what this means. So first off, I get the Queen of Pentacles. So what this says to me is that Trudeau, like if we imagine this is Trudeau, he's looking at that coin very closely. So for all of his suaveness and Prince Charming da-da-das, he's actually a little bit more worried about this election than appears, yeah? Because he's like, I don't want to lose this. And then look, we see the sword of truth coming out, but look, it's reversed, yeah? So could this mean, is there some kind of truth that comes out that might reverse things? Because look what my next card is. The Tower. So this says to me, Trudeau is, the reversal. Sorry, Trudeau is holding on to his coin. Yeah, I'll just go up and down. It's safer. Trudeau is holding on to his coin, but there's some kind of truth, yeah, that could come out that could turn things upside down for him, because it could be of a shocking nature. Something unexpected may happen. Yeah. I don't know what that will be, but it leaves him holding on to his coins. Yeah, this is someone who's almost being stingy. Yeah, they're here. It can be like being shrewd and trying to be stable with your money, not overspend. Trying to keep things stable. But when it's reversed, this can mean like being stingy, miserly, or a fear of something being taken away from you. So I think he's worried. I think he's quite worried about losing this election. Yeah. And he's trying to hold on, because when we look at these two cards here, these are cards of like looking at your money or your assets carefully. Yeah. So that's saying a lot. And then look, we get the Knight of Pentacles reversed. So there's an obvious thing as well here to do with money and security. And maybe could that be what brings this kind of Tower energy? Is there something going on in terms of people being paid or bribes or some kind of government corruption or something that we're not aware of? Because for a 5-card spread, that's a lot of pentacles. 3 of those cards were pentacle related. So I think there might be something here connected with money or finance of some kind with Trudeau that we don't know yet, and maybe he's worried will come out. I mean, that's how I can just interpret the cards as we just reach 800 people. So He's got some hard work, yeah. This card was he's got some hard work ahead of him, some graft, yeah. He's got some graft. And if
see, but
look,
I keep
yeah, happy families and stuff being a bit upside down, so we'll have to see.
But see, I keep thinking it's the pandemic, though. Like, it's not so much him. Like, maybe they're not happy that he didn't give out enough money during the pandemic. I'm getting a pandemic feel. That's why I was like, I can't say for sure that this was about him, or because the energy from the pandemic, I think they haven't reached, like, just like we haven't here, this big peak. And I think that's coming too. So it's a little bit, sometimes it's hard for me to separate out the energies, because I'm just feeling all of them. And I feel like they haven't really been hit as hard as they're going to be by the pandemic, unfortunately. You know, like could that even delay the election or something? You know what I mean? Like, because I'm getting that vibe too.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that, but it's definitely because to get 3 of the cards out of the 5 card spread in Pentacles, and one of them was the Queen and the Knight of Pentacles, so they're quite high in rank, and it's just like there's something to do with money.
It'll come out
in the background, so it will come out. The Tower is there, so we'll find out. And if that happens, you heard it here, folks. First, you've heard it here. So I just want to say thank you to everyone, because we've just gone over our hour. So I want to thank everyone for joining us in the last, and thank you so much as well for the donations. We have Dina Donatelli, who also joined us here. Debbie, as I said before, Karen Johnson, Craig is here as well. There's big conversations going on between you guys, so I wanted to say thank you so much. Thank you as well to Dianne as well for hopping onto my channel. I think I'll be on your channel next sometime in September, hopefully, isn't it?
Yes, when I come back from Egypt.
Yes, when you come back from Egypt. I'm looking forward to seeing those videos, by the way. I'm sure we all
are.
I'm so
excited.
You know, you're not trying to get Wi-Fi, you know.
Right, yes.
So thanks everyone once again for joining us. That is great. Over 800 of you on a Friday. You know, Friday after. That's great. That's great. It's really, really cool. So until the next time, you will see us tomorrow, of course, on Marie's table, where there will be more debate. I think Marie's hosting, isn't she? I think she's hosting.
She is. Yeah.
So we will see you tomorrow if you want to see us there. And thanks so much again. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers.